Haven't quite gotten over yet, but I'll flip you around. Actually, it looks really... Oh, I didn't flip you around. Okay, it's also very dark, but unless they're on the other side of this, it looks like 20 people. Okay, we're getting a little more light here. Hey Anchorage, hey Mala, hey Bree. We're in subscriber 1 minute mode. That looks good. So there's some people here, but not a whole lot. So let me see if we don't have more people wandering here in a few minutes. Hey.
Hi, chat.
All sorts of lovely people around here. So I guess we have one MAGA prick at least. I can't even remember which one he is. About the sound before I put gloves on. God, my gimbal can hardly do this. I'm holding. I've got one foot on my tripod. What am I gonna do here? Okay, come on. This is ridiculous. Down for a second. Okay. That helps the, okay. Probably can't put a glove over the mic. Okay, stream might go down for 1 sec. Or not. Does this sound better? I should be going through the lav mic now. Better, okay. I just get my other stuff put away and then I should be able to get my gloves on finally. Oh my fucking god, my hands are cold. Come on. Okay, one glove on. Okay, let me see if I can go back a ways and zoom in and see if that'll get it later. A little bit maybe. I don't know why I thought this, but I kind of expected they'd have some kind of lighting for people down here and it wouldn't just be like pitch black. I can hardly see the people myself. Seems like a weird choice. Good evening, Andrew Johnson. Hey, so tired. Okay, gotta grab some things out of here. I think I do have a flashlight. I should probably pull that out. Someone's got a flashlight going over there, lighting up the Ukrainian flag. Hello. I'm heading up with your iPod. I have a bunch. Perfect. Thank you. That's all I'm looking for. How bad is the wind noise? Is it pretty under control with this mic?
Yeah, let's go. ICE out now! ICE out for good! ICE out now! ICE out for good! ICE out now! ICE out for good! ICE out for good! My name is Hamzai. I'm an organizer with Socialist Alternative. We called this protest today and have been organizing it alongside No Kings, Sunrise, Revolutionary Communists of America, and the Federal Unionist Network. And we've been organizing this because what happened today in Minneapolis was the most important day of action we've seen against Trump so far. This was more than just a protest. For weeks, thousands of workers have come together in grassroots organizing meetings to plan for mass strike action. It means no work, no school, no shopping. They said, unless ICE gets out of here, we're going to shut this city down. That's exactly what they did. Today, 5,000 people blockaded the airport where ICE operates out of, transporting people they abduct. Tens of thousands flooded the downtown in below zero temperatures. And hundreds of schools and businesses were shuttered for the day. We're going to need to build on that. We're going to need to take it further. Just this morning, ICE launched a massive operation in Maine with the vile racist codename Operation Catch of the Day. We need to kick ICE out of Minneapolis. We need to kick them out of Maine. We need to kick them out of Portland. We need to kick them out of every single city and every single state. And in that fight, we need the labor movement and the unions to step up even more boldly than they already have. We've seen federal workers targeted, in particular by Trump's crackdown against unions. Many of them have been at the forefront of organizing to fight back. We're going to hear from one of them tonight. It's my pleasure to introduce Matt from the National Air Traffic Controller Association and the Federal Unionist Network.
So, as Amzai said, I'm Matt. I'm an air traffic controller, a federal employee. I work for the Federal Aviation Administration at the Hillsborough Airport. I'm also a participant in the PDX hub of the Federal Unionist Network, which is why I'm here speaking to you today. I've been lucky that my union has been able to stand up against the current administration. However, that has not been the case across the federal workforce. Now, one of the things my union emphasizes in, media and to Congress and these sorts of things is that there's a staffing crisis amongst air traffic controllers. And what a staffing crisis looks like in air traffic is we open fewer positions, we work fewer airplanes, you guys take flight delays. The public takes flight delays. Now, compare this crisis to, for instance, the Bonneville Power Administration, who are also federal employees and are also short-staffed. When BPA is short-staffed, your electric rates will go up and your electricity will become less reliable. That is clearly also a crisis. The EPA, FDA, USDA, all have hiring freezes, are all short-staffed and have been. That means we can't rely or depend upon having clean air and water and a safe food supply. Clearly, also a crisis. The Department of Health and Human Services, in particular the CDC, has had numerous firings and is short-staffed. We can't get a recommendation for a flu vaccine in a year. Anyone who was around just a few years ago knows that we aren't prepared for a pandemic because we weren't before, and we're even less so now, which far exceeds a crisis. That's the making of a catastrophe. Finally, at the Department of Veterans Affairs, our shortage in air traffic is about 3,800 controllers. At the Department of Veterans Affairs, 35,000 vacancies. 35,000 in order of magnitude greater. Those vacancies, those positions, were eliminated in December. They will not be filled. Meanwhile, on average, every day, 18 veterans every day take their own lives. That's the most
He's
conservative
an air traffic
estimate of that.
controller, Stellaby.
This is beyond crisis. It's a fucking massacre. Now, we're here to talk about ICE. What does all this with the Federal Unionist Network and federal hiring have to do with what's going on, or what was going on in LA, and then over here in Chicago, and now Minneapolis? There is one political question in our system. It's how do we create a compliant workforce? Unions are a methodology for workers to have a say at their jobs. It jeopardizes the authority of bosses. This administration's sole interest is asserting power. ICE is the most violent arm of this administration. The intention is to spread fear, to make workers shut their mouths and close their eyes and turn off their brains and be quiet and follow orders. Crushing unions and the violent enforcement arm of this administration go hand in hand. The intention is compliance.
That's right, when ICE detains you, you don't comply.
Why even be here? Hey, comply with this! Shut the fuck up!
There's the one counter protester that got in my face.
ICE out of Portland! With you, man!
He's a slimy little piece of shit.
ICE out of Portland! 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 So, as I was saying, they want us to stop thinking. They want us to close our eyes to everything that's going on and just do what we're told.
My right!
So in the words
My right to
of a
use
fine
my
group of
word.
people from Minneapolis, we have eyes that see and
Oh,
minds
Richard's
that
down
think
here.
and mouths that speak. So God damn it, we will.
When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? When the labor movement is under attack, what do we do? When the labor movement is under attack, what do we do? Trump's attacks, they've been scary, they've been a whirlwind, right? But I think we've also seen some really positive developments, not just in Minneapolis, but over the last year across the entire world. In Italy, we saw dock workers organize a general strike in solidarity with Gaza. We've seen young people organizing and fighting back in the global Gen Z rebellions, which have shaken and overthrown governments in Bangladesh, Nepal, Kenya, Indonesia, Madagascar, and other countries. The power of young people and students organizing and fighting back should not be underestimated. Our next speaker, Bailey, is from the Sunrise Movement. It's a national grassroots student organization fighting against climate catastrophe and the systems that perpetuate it. And this year, Sunrise took the lead, organizing Students Rise Up, an action campaign fighting against Trump's attacks on higher education and building towards mass walkouts and strikes on May Day. When I say students, you say rise up. Students! Rise up! Students! Rise up! When I say immigrants, you say rise up. Immigrants! Rise up! Immigrants! Rise up! When I say all of us, you say rise up. All of us! Rise up! All of us! Rise up! Thank you. Welcome, Bailey.
Hello, everyone. My name, forgive me. My name is Bailey Palmer, and I am a recovering bigot. I am. I used to have racist attitudes, distaste for folks in the queer community, hated anything, socialist, etc. I remember even joking, saying racial slurs to my friends in middle school. I don't know why, but I learned it somewhere. And I deeply regret those actions now. I went to college. I learned facts, historical studies, and I was amazed at academia. I learned from other truth tellers.
That's so sexy!
Over a period of years, I was able to reclaim my U.S. history, relearn my U.S. history, and I became stunned at the sheer amount of horrific acts our country has committed. From indigenous genocide and displacement to the slavery of African descendants, Japanese internment camps, war crimes, war profiteering, in support of Palestinian genocide to countless other evils.
Free Palestine!
And now,
Palestine!
and now ICE. ICE is yet one more travesty against humanity. After learning about these horrendous things, I no longer could call myself a proud American. It was here that I had a choice. I could choose to accept the history of our country, or I could reclaim my loyalties. As a proud American patriot, I chose to stop ignoring history. Many proud Americans don't know their history very well. If you were like me and unaware, our country over the decades has been supporting totalitarian regimes throughout Latin America. Guatemala, for example, the CIA had orchestrated a coup that took down Guatemala's elected leader. This led to political violence, war, and destabilization, all so we could have better trade deals. This in turn led many Guatemalans to flee and migrate north to the country that promises freedom and justice for all. But I don't see that justice happening. Instead of taking responsibility for our past crimes, we would rather hunt our victims down and shoot them in the middle of the street. I don't know about you, but I think that is horrific. But I believe I don't think we will have success as a movement or as a country unless we can figure out how to hold understanding and grace for our enemies. I'm convinced that violence will only breed more violence, because hurt people hurt people. This means that in order to reach over the aisle and help people see what we see, we need to do our best to imagine why the other person is hurt. Why are they hateful? Why do they dislike immigrants or Marxism or queer people? Because they have misplaced loyalties. They also had terrible childhoods, suffered traumas, had to go through war after war. Some of them don't even have legitimate education. And Tucker Carlson is who they fantasize about in their wet dreams. Pardon the crass humor. When we can understand the other person, we are more likely to convince them that they're supporting evil and that they're being lied to and manipulated. I was a former Trump supporter, a former bigot. I admit to that and regret all of it. But I'm here now declaring my opposition publicly against our current administration. I am proof that people's minds can and will change. Corporate greed, exploitation, environmental maltreatment, these people use the Judeo God of love and mispurpose them for imperialism, genocide, ethnic discrimination, and hate, just so they can buy a fourth yacht. What bullshit! I think it should be expected that those on the top should use their power and wealth to uplift those on the bottom. Not to cast aside or minimize one of America's most horrific crimes, but in an economic sense, many of us on the bottom are stuck serving our corporate slaveholders. Many in the country do not get health insurance without a job or citizenship. Luckily, Oregon and other states are ahead of the federal government on this. Many of us have to work multiple jobs just to survive. I have a friend who works every single day just to pay his rent. Every day I hear a new story of someone who couldn't pay for their medical bills and suffered because of it and died. What a failure of our society. How dare we allow corporations to exploit our labor and employ people to kill our immigrant friends and family. And now they're building machines and using AI to rip even more from us and kill our planet in the process? This is an outrage. We stand up because what is happening is not right. It is pure evil, buttered, battered up, sautéed, and glazed with brown sugar. It's tasty, but it'll clog your heart and drop you dead. Here at Sunrise, we're committed to climate action, and we gladly support our immigrant friends and family.
Yeah!
One of the ways you can get involved is joining one of the organizations represented here. One thing that we are pushing for at Sunrise is a walkout on May 1st. In the past U.S. history, walkouts have had huge political implications, so please, we encourage you to walk away from your job May 1st. Put it in your calendar right now. I want to end with one of my favorite, a quote from one of my favorite advocates for justice, Desmond Tutu. He says, "There comes a point where we need to stop just pulling people out of the river. We need to go upstream and find out why they're falling in." This is why we are organizing today. We recognize the vile nature of our political system being bought and twisted by corporations and the wealthy. Our system continues to push people over the edge, and it is time we change that. Thank you.
Before we get into our next speaker, I want to say a big thank you to No Kings. They're helping us put this event on. They brought the marshals, the sound system. It takes all of us to make this happen, but they were one of the first people to get involved in building for tonight, so I want to say thank you to them.
Yeah!
I think a lot of us know No Kings, right? They've been a rallying cry for people under Trump 2.0. They helped organize the biggest day of protest in U.S. history in October. That was part of how we stopped the federal agents from coming here, right? That should give us confidence that we can build this movement into a formidable force that can stop Trump for good and win what we really need. That's money for schools, not ICE. Money for housing, not ICE. Money for healthcare, not ICE. Money for jobs, not ICE. Trump's attacks on working people and his massive expansion of ICE, it's not coming from a place of strength. He's sitting at the top of a declining, rotten empire. He's desperately trying to keep it afloat with military adventures in Iran, Venezuela, trying to bully Greenland. His actions aren't just because he's an unstable bigot, although of course he is, but because he needs to prop up U.S. capitalism and its imperialist ambitions. And if we're going to really fight Trump, I think we have to recognize that. We're going to need an international approach based on working class solidarity.
Yeah!
We need to say deportations, hell no, this whole system's got to go. Climate change, hell no, this whole system's got to go. Genocide and war, hell no, this whole system's got to go. And on that note, I'm very glad to introduce our next speaker, is Vincent from the Revolutionary Communists of America.
Comrades, I stand here today with you as someone who is also sick of the terror perpetrated and the travesties perpetrated continually upon the working class by the parasitic billionaires and their sycophants. This continued terror campaign against the working class, which includes the murder of Renee Nicole Good, the people kidnapped, brutalized, and disappeared by ICE in every single community across the United States, including those shot here in Portland. All of this is a facet of the capitalist system in which we live in. It is not something that can be reformed away. It won't go away with half measures. We cannot train them better to make them better. This isn't an aberration of capitalism. This is a core facet. Yes! Trump and the bourgeois elite are using ICE as another tool to terrorize us and distract us and divide us. The crisis we are facing today is not because of immigrants. It is not because of trans people. It is not because of the color of our skin. It is not because of the nation of our ancestors. It is because of the capitalists and their failing system. They want us, the working class, divided, fighting against each other instead of focusing on them. As capitalism continues to amass contradictions, the demonization of the working class immigrant is used by the billionaires and their cronies to hide the fact that every red cent that they have accumulated has been squeezed from the blood, sweat, and tears of the working class. I would like to remind them of the powers with which they contest, of the powers with which we seek to organize. That is the power of the exploited. That is the power of the working class. As Ted Grant once put so eloquently, not a wheel turns, not a light shines, not a phone rings without the kind permission of the working class. Once this enormous power is mobilized, no force on earth can stop it. Groceries, rent, utility bills, and healthcare costs continue to skyrocket, not because there is not enough to go around, but because the capitalists need an excuse for ever more austerity and exploitation so that they can right their sinking ship. The $38 trillion national debt is because of both parties' continued economic policies, military policies, domestic and international policies. Amen. They have both proven themselves all too happy, Democrats and Republicans, to pump more money into ICE or into foreign wars and interventions, all so they can appease their capitalist masters. The response should be the full-throated rejection of both parties and their bourgeois sensibilities. Neither party represents you. Neither party represents the working class. And only an organized working class can defend itself against this state terror at home while helping to remove the boot of imperialism abroad. That's right. Not only here in Portland, but in Minneapolis, St. Louis, and all over the country, the Revolutionary Communists of America have joined with organizations and unions in support of this day of action taken against the ICE terror. We can also call for more than just a single day of action. We can say go farther and turn this into the greatest weapon that the working class has at its disposal, the general strike. Only with a coordinated mass direct action can we shut down the capitalist machine that ICE is beholden to. An economy brought to its knees will make the murderers at ICE and their masters in Washington tremble at the might of the working class. Not just in the Twin Cities, but across the nation. We can kick ICE out of our communities. It is edifying to see the working class starting to recognize its power again. Through international coordinated action, we can dismantle the global system that requires the existence of ICE thugs and imperialist war crimes. Without the ability to pit workers against themselves, they won't be able to get away with threats against the working class's living standards. The capitalists don't care about you. They want you on the margin of hunger, sickness, and homelessness, ever willing to take whatever things they were willing to offer you, a pittance. That is why we, the Revolutionary Communists of America, and our comrades abroad in the Revolutionary Communist International remain resolute in our faith in the working class. And so I call out to you these slogans. An injury to one is an injury to all. Organized labor must get into the fight. Workers' self-defense committees in every workplace and neighborhood targeted by ICE. Immediate full rights and amnesty for undocumented workers and their families. No faith in the Democrats. Down with both parties of the ruling class. Build a workers' party that can dismantle ICE and the capitalist system once and for all. I will end with one final quote, one that has haunted the capitalist masters of this world since it was written almost 200 years ago. Let the ruling classes tremble. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. Workers of all countries, unite!
I think something we have to remember in all of this is that this fight isn't just about ICE, it's not just about Minneapolis, right? They're not just coming for immigrants, they're coming for Indigenous people, they're coming for all of us, they're coming for the unions. Greg Naumacher, the president of SEIU, Local 28 in Minneapolis, a couple weeks ago, when they called this general strike, he said the army that Trump is building in Minneapolis today to attack immigrants, it's the same army he's going to use to crush the unions tomorrow. I think he's exactly right. I think we got to say, as Vincent said, an injury to one is an injury to all. An injury to one is an injury to all. An injury to one is an injury to all. Our next speaker is a local hotel worker who asked to speak. He's in a union. He's going to talk to us about what he has heard from his comrades in Minneapolis on the ground there.
Howdy, everyone. I don't have prepared remarks, so I guess you just have to listen to me rant a little bit. So what it took to have a real general strike in Minneapolis. First one in Minneapolis since 1934. First one in America since the 40s. Now, a day without an immigrant in 2006 was also big, but this is the first time we've tried to have a citywide general strike, and that's incredible. And I want to talk about what it took to get us here, to make this more than just a big protest, to have the working class really shut it down, right? So at the airport, union members were like locking themselves down and getting arrested alongside faith leaders. And yeah, all of these things happening. Thousands of people in rapid response networks, grassroots rapid response networks, people maxing out signal chats with 1,000 members, and then you can't go any more than that, right? So then making more signal chats neighborhood by neighborhood. That's what's happening in Minneapolis right now. And as for a general strike, what did it take to really call a real general strike? So the Minnesota AFL-CIO, they were in favor of it. They tried to bring all their unions out. But looking more closely, it was a few more radical unions that led the way. It was a teachers union, the SEIU local, and the Unite Here local, the hotel worker local in Minneapolis. But we can even be more specific than that, in that within those more radical service worker unions, there was a workers' assembly of radical workers from multiple workers together, collaborating and working out what it would really take to put their unions in motion. And I don't know if we have one of those here. I don't know how that will work here when it's time for us to have our general strike. How are we going to get the most radical unions in motion, to get the rest of the unions in motion, to get the whole society in motion to really shut it down? Oh, I wasn't going to answer that. That was a rhetorical question.
It's a good one.
I was talking to people in my union, and we're not talking about what's happening in Minneapolis right now unless I'm bringing it up. The unions here, they're not equipped, like mentally or spiritually, to communicate about what our union siblings are doing in other cities, even in the same union. So we have to be like we have to bring the good news to people that a general strike just happened. A general strike is happening. We have to bring that to our coworkers and build the networks that are going to bring the good news to everyone, and build the mutual aid networks that will be able to sustain us for our neighbors that can't leave their houses because of the threat. And all the things that are going to need to go into having an open-ended general strike. We need mutual aid across unions, across neighborhoods. All right, that was my rant. Thanks for listening.
Takes a lot to get up there when you're not prepared, but I think that is what we all got to do, right? We all got to see ourselves as leaders and organizers and ready to stand up for what's right. We got one more speaker tonight. I want to shout out, I'm a socialist alternative. If you want to learn a bit about that history of the labor movement, those general strikes that rocked the country, we produce a newspaper every month. Our center article this issue is about the rise of the labor movement in the U.S., how we can transform it into a militant labor movement, which unfortunately after decades of kind of defeats, it is currently not, right? It needs to actually be renewed. So check that out. Come talk to us at our table over there. Rocky's going to give us a sum up here. And yeah, that's what we got. Rocky, take it away.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? Awesome! Minneapolis is on strike today! Isn't that awesome? I think that's exactly the kind of fight back we need here in Portland, don't you? My name's Rocky and I'm an organizer here in Portland with Socialist Alternative. If you want to find us after the meeting, we'll be over there at the table. Come find us to talk more about how you can get involved. It would be an understatement to say that we are living in unprecedented times. Last year, we witnessed Trump's acceleration of the genocide in Gaza, the horrific meat grinder war in Ukraine, slashing of healthcare subsidies that are a lifeline for so many Americans, a continued nosedive into climate catastrophe, and National Guard troops deployed in our cities. Just this year hasn't even been a month, and Trump has become even more brazen. From kidnapping the president of Venezuela to launching the largest federal immigration enforcement operation ever carried out. As a result of this increased ICE presence, Renee Good was shot and killed by ICE agents in Minneapolis. Just a day later, 2 others were shot here in Portland by Border Patrol agents. Trump is only going to continue to act with unrestrained volatility and violence unless we fight back. Democrats have shown us that they won't organize the fight, the kind of fight that we need. When Trump overthrew the president of Venezuela, the only thing Democratic leader Chuck Schumer could express was his disappointment. When Trump sent troops to invade our cities, our mayor wrung his hands and told us not to take the bait. When ICE was deployed to invade Chicago and Minneapolis, we got a lot of tough talk from people like Brandon Johnson and Jacob Fry, but with zero follow-through. This shouldn't surprise us. The Democrats are the party that have been working hand in hand with the Republicans to fund ICE for years. In 2024, Biden gave ICE $3.4 billion to continue their reign of terror. And just yesterday, more Democrats joined Republicans to pass another bill that would give ICE even more money. This is what Democrats and Republicans alike use our tax dollars for, because they're both beholden to corporate right-wing interests. There are some politicians here in Portland who claim to represent the movement. If you represent the movement, then you'd be using your elected position as a bullhorn to mobilize and organize everyone in the city around direct strike action. And you'd be calling on the unions that donated to you to build for that one-day strike here in Portland. We have to take more ambitious political action if we are ever going to stand up to Trump. Actions that the Democrats are completely unwilling to support. I know a lot of us have been out at protests this last year. We've joined rapid response networks. We've called on our elected leaders to take action and stop ICE. All of this is important, and at the same time, I think a lot of us are starting to feel like these defensive actions aren't enough. What we need is to go on the offensive. We need to start taking actions that shut down business as usual. We need to take the fight to ICE, to Trump, and to the billionaire class that funds his agenda. We need to start thinking about a strike. The $30 trillion U.S. economy only runs because 164 million workers show up at their jobs every day. It may seem like Trump is too powerful to be stopped, but he cares about making money for himself and his fellow billionaires more than he cares about almost anything else. And because we make the economy run, we also have the power to shut it down. In the 60s and 70s, the civil rights movement didn't just protest. They used offensive actions like sit-ins and occupations. In 2019, during Trump's first term, the Trump administration shut down the government in an attempt to get more border wall funding. Sarah Nelson, president of the Association of Flight Attendants Union, called for a general strike in response. This threat forced the Trump admin to back down and reopen the government. However, a threat alone won't stop Trump in 2026. We need to be ready to follow through. These are the kind of escalatory actions we need to start organizing around. And we are seeing those sorts of tactics develop. In Minneapolis, socialist alternative members have been on the ground building this movement. We hosted meetings of dozens of workers to organize sick-outs. We stood with postal workers to kick ICE off postal property. And we joined community members to shut down the far-right agitator Jake Lang. Today, our comrades joined workers in their heroic strike to shut down Minneapolis. If Minneapolis can do it, why not Portland? We need to organize mass democratic conference and resistance in every city. We need to come together to discuss what our plan is to fight back. We have to exercise those organizing muscles. When you go back to your workplaces, or your schools, or your communities, start building for maximum non-cooperation with ICE through union resolutions and petitions in your schools and workplaces. Get your coworkers and fellow students thinking about strike action. We also need to recognize that the deployment of ICE isn't the only struggle we should be fighting against. Trump's war in Venezuela, unaffordable housing and healthcare, the genocide in Gaza, the climate crisis are all symptoms of a wider system at work. A system bigger than Trump, capitalism. If we are truly going to take the fight to Trump, we have to take on the whole capitalist class that perpetuates these crises and benefits from our subjugation. Socialist Alternative here in Portland and also all over the United States will be holding meetings in the coming weeks and months to equip workers and students with the organizational prowess and the political confidence to go on strike. Thank you.
Fuck ICE, shut it down! Every city, every town! Fuck ICE, shut it down! Every city, every town! Fuck ICE, shut it down! Every city, every town! Fuck ICE, shut it down! Every city, every town! Alright, we got one more group of folks who's gonna come up and give a contribution here. We got Decolonize, Hill Resist, and Indigenous Resistance.
Thank you for coming out tonight. It's an honor to be here on Chinook land. We're actually standing on one of the main villages. We're here, the Chinook people that had this place, where they raised their children and their families was right here where we're standing. There's a little marker for it over there. We are the Indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere. We came here tonight to talk for our ancestors and our descendants, not us. And we came here to talk for our Mexican, Chicano people and other Indigenous people that cannot be here. They cannot risk it. They cannot risk it. We're here for them because they can't be here. This is not the first time. This is not the first time of mass deportation. My grandparents lived through it in the 1940s. You could look it up. It was called Operation and then a racist name. They deported 1 million U.S. citizens of Mexican descent at that time. This is not new. This is just more white supremacy. And they claim to be Christian. They claim to love Jesus. But you don't hear anything about Jesus in that man talking back there. He says nothing about Jesus. He follows none of Jesus' teachings. They're all fraud. They're faux patriots. I served in Desert Storm. I served in a combat zone, and so did my father and uncle, and my grandfather served in World War II. We're the real patriots. We're the real patriots because we believe in the Constitution, even though it doesn't exist for us. It has never existed for us, but we pray one day it does. Thank you.
I took the Chushik, Naika Ichli Unukshai. I speak in my native tongue when I can to people so that way that my voice can be heard. I'm so glad to see everybody out here and standing here for those who can't and speaking for those who can't. We need to continue the momentum and continue these actions. We need to continue to stand up for those who cannot, those who are detained, those who are getting brutalized by state violence, those who are being shot. I wish that everybody would have had a big uproar about the Venezuelans that got shot here in Portland, like they did Renee Good. And rest in peace to Renee Good. She was doing what all of us have been doing, and she got shot for it and murdered. We need to keep standing up and not be afraid. The borders crossed us. We did not cross borders. and I'm a tribal citizen of the Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs, and ICE has been seen on my reservation and around my reservation. So now we're trying to lock down and trying to combat this state violence that's against us. We need everybody. We don't need allies. We don't need white allies. We need white accomplices that will stand with us, that will continue to be next to us and not run away. We need you to hold the line with us on the front lines and not be afraid. Thank you.
Shut down ICE, fight the right, organize a one-day strike. Shut down ICE, fight the right, organize a one-day strike. Shut down ICE, fight the right, organize a one-day strike. I want y'all to imagine what it would be like if we were in Minneapolis right now with 10,000, tens of thousands of other people out there in the streets fighting back. That's the kind of power we need to build. And I think that's a question we got to start grappling with in the weeks and months to come. Is how can we make Portland like what they did in Minneapolis? How can we get ready for May Day? Before you leave tonight, have a conversation with someone. Get organized. Sign up. We got tables over there with materials, organizations. We're going to need to organize. We're going to need to stand together. We're going to need to build this movement. Who's with us? Solidarity!
Every last illegal in this country. Fight back! Stand up, fight back! Get out of here! Fuck
When immigrants' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Indigenous people are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
That's right! I think it's shameful. What do y'all think?
Shame!
No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state. No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state. No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state. No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state. No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state. That's right. So we got for our speaking program tonight. Folks, stay safe. Stay together. Ignore the assholes.
Got your little bodyguards, pussy! It's your little bitch!
You know, he's overused that megaphone so bad, it's only about half as loud as it used to be.
Apparently that guy in yellow is a bodyguard for Tommy, according to people.
God bless deporting
Eat the rich.
illegal in this country. Every last illegal is gonna be deported. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
I've never seen Tommy with a bodyguard before. That's interesting. I guess he's kind of clean cut, like William and stuff, or like his security. I love that he came up there and they're playing circus music for him.
God bless us! Everybody laugh at him! He's such a clown! He's a
Well, I actually kind of wanted to get up here to take a picture of the crowd, but he's been kind of corralled around. Run, Tommy, run. This is funny seeing Tommy chased around in circles.
Nobody will attack you. Fucking race me,
Exactly what this has become is a circus.
That's where that came from, bootlicker!
Oh, there's gonna be a fight that breaks out. I'm pretty sure.
Donald Trump! We love America, and we love America! I'm the bad king! No more tax dollars on fucking illegals! You're gonna get maced if you keep blocking my path, bro. I'm just letting you know right now. You keep blocking my path, and you're gonna be maced again.
Oh, fuck. Okay, that guy's not fucking protecting him. Wow, I got that completely wrong.
You're just not trusting that guy by the pussy America first! America only! Americans first! Americans only! You guys know that guy in the white
I don't know that I really want to follow Tommy around in circles for the next 20 minutes.
America only!
I'm thinking I'm just gonna go ahead. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and cut this off and get ready to go down to I.C.E. 8. What time is it? I guess it's like 7:30. Oh, it's only 7. God damn it, I was planning on this thing running for another half hour. He's retreated back into a corner. Lucky for you, Lux. Tommy's a rather famous counter-protester. It's not liked by many. Wait, is Tommy fucking back there? Yeah, he is. He's behind the Eat the Reich poster. Wow, he's kind of blocked in there. What is the monolithic structure? It's part of a battleship mast. This is the Oregon Battleship Memorial. So it's just an old mast from a battleship. But it makes a great place to speak from, and has like a little kind of podium built in. Well, if this is how the pre-show goes, I imagine the main event tonight's going to be pretty wild.
What's your sign say?
I'm guessing it's going to be crazy down at the ice building tonight.
You walked up to me. I had his
I don't want to be in the middle of either of those flashlights.
Hey, I'll still something else. I'll still one other thing, buddy.
I think I'm just gonna cut it. We'll head down to ICE a little early. So it's 7:05. I'll probably be down there before 7:30. Maybe give me about 20 minutes and I'll be on. It's scheduled for 8 o'clock, but just know I'll go live before then. So usually the ICE building is way more eventful than this if people are interested. I already have the stream scheduled. I'll be live as soon as I get down there. I will see you guys then. Oh, and I'm going horizontal tonight. So for all the horizontal fans, make sure to show up. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye.